most flamboyant fashion.
He was told from the time he was a young child that he was going to be the leader of the revolution. Then when the revolution died and his mother moved to a housing project in the Bronx and became a crack addict, he still had that feeling that he was supposed to do something enormous. Tupac was a magnet for trouble, and he constantly felt the need to prove to everyone that he would not back down from anything.
In October 1993, two off-duty cops tried to pick a fight with Tupac and members of his entourage at this intersection in Midtown Atlanta.
Rapper Tupac Shakur appeared in municipal court this morning after his attorney entered a plea of not guilty to 2 counts of aggravated assault in connection to the shooting of 2 off-duty police officers. A witness told police that Shakur fired at the officers. 3 casings from a 9mm weapon were found on the scene.
You don't get away with getting into a shootout with the police and actually wounding one of them and then walking away. But these 2 guys were drunken yahoos who had a record of racist comments, violent behavior. They were drunk at the time. They had a gun they weren't supposed to have themselves. The charges wouldn't stick.
Shakur celebrated his good fortune in the only way he knew how, by looking for more trouble. Whilst having sex with a girl in a Manhattan hotel room, 3 friends of Tupac burst in from another room. The girl alleged she was then raped and sodomized.
It's not a crime for me to be with any girl I want to be with. It's a crime for that girl to turn that into a rape charge.
For his part in the attack, Shakur was sentenced to 2.5 years in Clinton Correctional Facility in New York. But before the judge could send him down, someone else had decided to take him out.
It was basically an ambush shooting. They clearly meant to kill him, and they did rob him, but curiously enough, they took all his jewelry, all his money, but left a $25,000 watch on his wrist that was a gift from the producer who he came to suspect was behind the whole thing.
By October 1995, after 9 months in jail, penniless and increasingly isolated, Tupac Shakur jumped at the invitation to sign for Suge Knight's notorious West Coast rap label Death Row. The young man fated as the leader of the revolution, now reborn as the thug-life prophet preaching black power through guns, drugs and money. The guns, the girls and the material trappings of fame were not only becoming more important than the message, by now they were the message. Tupac's former friendship with fellow rapper Biggie Smalls had also disintegrated into a vicious war of words.
Dear Mr. Ch4, thank you for your recent epistle, which I consider to be the words of a motherfucker. I can assure you that I did not attempt to shoot your nigger ass at our recent rendezvous at the Quad Studios. And furthermore, I would suggest that your own dumbass was responsible for the contretemps that ensued. In addition, and in relation to this, I would like to point out that my recently published work, Who Shot Ya, in no way refers to your sorry black ass, just because I employed the following couplets. Come here, open your fucking mouth. Didn't I tell you not to fuck with me, bitch-ass nigga? What? Who shot ya? This does not mean I was referring to your bitch-ass nigga. I was, in fact, referring to bitch-ass niggas generically. And I would humbly ask you to stop being such a dumb fuck about the whole matter. Yours respectfully, B.I.G.
Dear motherfucker, thank you for your prompt reply, which I wiped my skinny black ass with and flushed down to John like a motherfucking shit that it was. I know it was you who tried to waste me and would draw your attention to my recently published air, which clearly states,
Who shot me? But your punch didn't finish. Now you're about to feel the wrath of a menace. Nigga, I hit him up.
And so makes it quite clear that you were both the central protagonist in the ensuing ballyhoo, and furthermore acted the total nigger asshole to boot. In addition, I thought you may be interested to learn that I have on several occasions fucked your wife. I refer you to the same air in which I state clearly and tersely,
So I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
While it is regrettable that I have resorted to the language of the gutter in referring to you as fat, the fact remains that I did indeed fuck the motherfucking ass off your little hoe. Yours humbly, Mr. Shakur, brackets T, P.S. She fucking loved it.
The East Coast-West Coast rap rivalry came to an inevitable head on September the 7th, 1996, fittingly after the Tyson fight here at the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas. Tupac, Suge Knight and other Death Row crew members got involved in a brawl with Southside Crip Orlando Anderson, a rather one-sided affair caught by the hotel's closed-circuit cameras. After the brawl, Tupac and Suge left for the post-fight party.
When I went to get into the car with Tupac and Suge, I was getting in the back door. Tupac stopped me and said, no. Handed me the keys
to Kadada Jones, Quincy Jones's daughter's car, and said, go drive the Outlaws, because we're going to be drinking and you could drive us back from the club.
Tupac then set out for Club 662 in a car driven by death row boss Suge Knight and flanked by the latter's preferred security, off-duty cops from the LAPD.
Suge Knight had his own security force, a former cop who headed Right Way Security, Reggie Wright Jr., who hired exclusively police officers who had a license to carry firearms.
Surrounded by glamour-struck off-duty police and an unarmed bodyguard, Tupac's BMW pulled up at a red light on Flamingo Road.
The white Cadillac came out of nowhere, and as it pulled up, I'm thinking, well, it's no different than any other car pulling up because they see Tupac and they see Suge, and we're just basically daydreaming and staring off into space. I saw the arm come out with the gun and started shooting into the car, and all you see is all of this smoke, you know, from the gun. That's when I realized that, no, they weren't pulling up to see him, they were pulling up to kill him.
Tupac Shakur was riding in this black BMW when the gunfire erupted. Shakur was shot several times in the chest. The driver, his record producer, was grazed in the head.
The murder of Tupac Shakur officially remains unsolved, but perhaps a clue lies in the fact that for all his talk of success and wealth, Tupac Shakur owned hardly anything on death. Just a couple of cars and a single bank account containing around £60,000. So where was the fortune made from his many million-selling records?
Suge owed Tupac about $3 million. I think Tupac's records had generated something in excess of $10 million in royalties, and Tupac had been paid less than $300,000 of that.
Compared with Tupac, Christopher Wallace, as he preferred not to be known, had a relatively well-off New York upbringing. By the time he'd transformed himself into hardcore rap star Biggie, Christopher was playing on a brief flirtation with crack dealing and the fact he'd lived only a 10-minute walk away from some pretty rough areas when growing up. After the first assassination attempt on his former friend and growing rival Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls didn't exactly soothe the situation by releasing the single Who Shot Ya, giving weight to theories of those who believe that each was ultimately responsible for the other's murder.
Dear shit dick, I am at a loss for words to express my black-ass nigger anger at your provocation, and so I will use your own words to proclaim, fuck peace. I'll let them niggers know that the situation has become intolerable for all concerned. Shall we say, pistols at dawn, you no-dick little punk. Yours regrettably, B.I.G. Brackets, Mr.
Dear fat fuck, very well. Draw.
No, you draw it, dipshit.
No, after you.
No, after you, motherfucker.
No, you, I insist.
Fuck 'em. We bad boy killers.
Good day.
Good day.
On the 8th of March 1997, Biggie Smalls made for what many East Coast rappers was a trip to the heart of darkness. LA, the home of Tupac Shakur, the West Side Bloods, and Death Row Records. After presenting an award to Tony Braxton at the Soul Train Music Awards, Biggie and Puffy left for the after-show party, just down there at the Peterson Museum on Wilshire Boulevard. Biggie's bodyguards that night were none other than the very same moonlighting LAPD cops regularly used as personal security by Suge Knight's Death Row Records.
When you work security detail and you're armed, eventually something is going to happen to where you're going to have to take some action. And what I found in Tupac Shakur killing, the Biggie Smalls killing, when the shit hit the fan, the cops were nowhere to be found to try to apprehend the suspect. And one reason for that is they knew they would get fired from their jobs from Los Angeles police officers. So you got to ask one question: what good were they?
East Coast rap star Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G., was last night shot and killed in a hail of 9mm semi-automatic gunfire in an apparent drive-by shooting on L.A.'s Wilshire Boulevard.
On the morning of Sunday, March the 9th, 1997, the notorious B.I.G. was announced D.E.A.D., pronounced dead. No one has ever been charged with his murder, and the investigation was soon shut down. In 1999, allegations into corruption within the LAPD resulted in an internal investigation after dozens of undercover officers were alleged to have cooperated to frame and rob drug suspects. Following a vote of no confidence, Chief of Police Bernard Parks stepped down.
The chief wanted to keep a lid on this investigation because to expose the fact that Los Angeles police officers may have been involved in the conspiracy to kill Biggie Smalls would be not only embarrassing to the chief, and would also be embarrassing to the police department.